February the 27th, 2018. Yeah, we dreamed last night. I dreamed a real detailed dream, and read this thing out. So we'll just start here. I dreamed that I was in a classroom. I dreamed that I was in the classroom, where I went to elementary school and middle school. Yeah, I was in one of those classrooms. It would have been, I think, on the middle school side in my dream. And I was, sitting in the class. I was in the back of the room, sitting by the window. I don't know what subject. I think it was math. I think the subject that was going on was math. Not real sure. I know that we were taking a test, and I just know that. So I was sitting by the window. I looked out the window from my seat. I could see out. I was the only one in the class that was sitting in a position that could. And I think though I was working on that math test, from that teacher years ago, I think it might have been. Well, I had paper, that had multiple math questions on it, like A, B, C, or D answers. Well, I could see west out the window, and I saw real black clouds. And there was another classmate sitting beside me, and I said to him, "Yeah, that's very dark." And he kind of leaned over and looked, and he was like, "Yeah, that's very dark." And I was here in Georgia, is where I was at. And so then I looked, and I saw a tornado coming out of that cloud. I watched it, and it came on, it's about halfway, and then it went on and touched down. And the area in my town that was hit would be toward the West Avenue area, the Ingalls area, the Plymouth area, and the Etowah Drive area. It made a track that was from west to east. It was about 100 yards north of where I was, was watching it from. And so, as it went, I watched the debris going up into the sky. There was a bunch of it, and the tornado was real black. And I watched that. I watched that whole neighborhood just get ravaged. I mean, completely to the ground. It looked like a blender, across the field. And that's what I saw in this dream. And so when I saw the debris, I said, "Y'all, it's not forecast." And I told the class, I said, "Y'all, it's not forecast, but there's a tornado outside." And the student beside me said, looking as the others didn't believe me because they couldn't see out, the student beside me said real serious, "Yeah, he's right." And it was going to pass 100 yards north of me. So in this dream, we went outside, and I think the teacher said, "Oh my God," and the news are not warning in this area. And as the weather has put down a tornado, south of the area where they thought it was going to hit and stuff, well, they missed the forecast, and it spawned tornadoes. Instead of being, in central Tennessee and southern Tennessee, they all hit North Georgia. And So then I saw a weather map showing the tornado risk in yellow. It was yellow and red. And you know, the Chattanooga, Tennessee area up, you know, from there, the Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, Western Carolinas area, you know, the spine of the Appalachians was in red. And then I looked to the west, and I think Colorado, Oklahoma, Western Kansas, and Wyoming, you know, were another red strip. There might have been a little bit over California. I can't remember, but anything that wasn't red, you know, like between that was in yellow. And so then I said the tornado yesterday was much smaller. And you know, and then it was weird because the one that I really seen yesterday, that little one that is the one that it was talking about, it was saying it was much smaller. You know, I dreamt again about it last night, and it said the tornado yesterday was much smaller, but the next one is a bigger one. And like I said, this was the one that I had just witnessed yesterday. And this one that was in this dream was the second tornado, you know, that I would witness. And so, and then it said I would witness a third one as well. And it would they would all hit the same area. Then another classmate said, I can't believe anyone, you know, isn't calling law enforcement, you know, to report these tornado warnings and sightings. As you know, these have been cited, you know, it said in the dream. And the news was not reporting nor issuing tornado watches like they should. And, you know, the specific county was Bartow County. You know, in Georgia was what county was in my dream, where the tornado, you know, tore the neighborhood up, you know, 100 yards away. So the meteorologist had said the tornado risk was slightly north of my area, you know, into Tennessee along the spine of the Appalachians, you know, was in red, eastern Tennessee, the western Carolinas, and the red cut off at about Chattanooga, Ringgold up in there, and it didn't include this, but this area was in yellow, whatever that was. And so and you know, well, what happened was that forecast did not pan out, as they missed the broadcast forecast, and the tornadoes all hit North Georgia, and at least one more than what I saw. Everyone in the classroom was scratching their heads saying, this is bad. You know, they didn't warn of this and missed this forecast. And you know, and they were upset that nobody reported, you know, the tornado before it came down, you know, and tore everything up. I mean all the stuff in the sky and everything else, and I seen that, and it was real black. That cloud was real black. The tornado was black, and so our class, or let me start back here. You know, after I seen that, they said this is bad, that no one let anybody know and reported this tornado. You know, to like the National Weather Service, that it was on the ground, you know, or the officials. So our class, you know, we did that, and we began telling them about all the debris I had seen and wiping out, you know, that neighborhood unexpectedly. And paper that I was on, I can't be sure, But I think for A and B, I saw the number 3,600 for A and 2,700 for B. I can't be certain on that. And that was all, and the weather did not do what was forecast, and it, like they had some rain west of where I was, but the severe stuff, it like, where they were looking for it, it didn't happen, and then, happened in another area is what happened, and 3,600, I've looked it up. I can't be certain that was the number I saw, but the 3,600 was, one thing in Strong said that it meant a stove or a cooking range was one thing, and another thing was, to thrust through, and it was like with a sword or a missile or a spear or something like that was 3,600 in Strong's, and then 2,700 was, I'll just say they weren't good things, but I can't confirm that that's what I saw in my dream. And I'm just saying, I dreamed about tornadoes last night and seen that one. I seen the one that was, just going through that like a blender, and it hit areas where they didn't forecast it. I mean, they narrowly missed the forecast, and the tornadoes hit like, 150 miles south of where they forecasted them. Now, whether they're actual tornadoes, I guess that remains to be seen, but the time frame was like, it seems like somewhere around the 1st of March, maybe the last few days of February, that they were having this, and that's all I know, and that's a dream I had last night, and I thought that I would put that out there because, that was crazy about these tornadoes, and hope everybody has a good day, and